Let's go. Welcome to the main event. Applying pressure, but I promise I ain't make it then. In their heads, living free, I ain't paying rent. Wake up in the AM, making G's like Mercedes-Benz. Whoa, yeah, please don't take it.
Welcome to the Pinnacle Living Podcast, helping you reach the pinnacle of success in life and business. We're in the Prosper office today with Mr. Jonah Lewis and Malik.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited. It's going to be a good one.
Dude, I have been waiting for this one. I'm super excited. I don't know, and Jonah, correct me, I don't know if I've met a person who's more consistently positive and like always got a smile on their face from like the first moment I met. Like, do you get mad?
I try not to. When I get mad, I feel like I have to, get down and appreciate what I'm grateful for. And I do that every single time. So I think that kind of helps guide me.
Amen, dude. You got, they're already getting deep. We're 2 seconds into it. Malik
Jonah told me get deep.
I was like, just that comment, I could talk for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll do a smooth transition in.
Yeah, I'm already like, man, we can't make this one more than an hour. So Malik, you have come. I can't think of one person who came into this industry with us who had never done insurance before, who came in crushing it right off the bat. I think your first month, and correct me, but I think your very first month you wrote almost 30 grand in business.
Yeah, 27 families.
Yeah, and I remember being like, Jonah, like, are we checking this business? Is that
quality control check?
Right? Like, what is this? And we're call the client. No, it's good. They want it. They love it. They love Malik. And so, talk to us a little bit. And I love your story about how you came to the industry, and I love how a fruitarian is on a carnivore's team. So talk to us about kind of where you came from, your industry experience, and how you came to insurance and Pinnacle.
Okay. So starting out, I graduated from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, so Northern California. And I graduated in 2015. And then I went into a solar distribution, like a management program. So I was doing that for 5 years. Absolutely loved it. Got tons of experience in the industry. And then it came to a point where, like, you know what, I can take this into my own hands. So I actually started a vegan food company, and I was doing that for maybe about a year and some change. Absolutely loved it, having a business of my own, learned all the, the ins and outs, that sort of thing. And then during the winter time, this was around 2 years ago, it got a little bit slower because we were doing a bunch of food festivals, farmers markets. And I actually passed the company over to my brother, so he ended up running it full time. And from there, I applied to a corporate position. Now, at the time, I knew I was not going to stay in the corporate position. I was like, I need some income coming in.
You had that entrepreneurship in your veins.
Yes. Once I got a taste of it, I mean, it was a wrap from there. So I did that for about 9 months. And then I'll actually tell you guys how I got into the industry. So I was at a FedEx, and I was printing flyers for my juice company. And I actually have these same shoes on. A guy approaches me behind me, and he's like, "Hey, I like your shoes." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate it." And then he asked another question, but this time when I turned around, and I could just tell someone has like a really magnetic, like a really positive aura on him.
Sure.
And this is actually Elijah Martinez. So turned around, and I was like, this time I just stepped out of line. I was like, "You have something good, man. Like, you're doing something." So talked to him for about 5 to 10 minutes, and he's like, I actually have an opportunity for you. I checked out the opportunity that night. I think I went back to work for maybe another week, and he's like, "Bro, do not quit your job." I quit my job like the next day. I knew this was in alignment for what I wanted to do, so that's why I had full confidence. Now, however, I thought I was immediately going to get my license. That was not the case, so I had to, re-humble myself. And
California takes like a month.
It took 7 weeks actually for mine. And so that whole time I didn't think of it as like a negative. So I was just while I was doing DoorDash. So I DoorDashed up my whole $1,000 for my initial lead budget. And the whole time I had my pods in, I was watching YouTube videos. I was actually watching a lot of both of your guys' videos. And then I was also training with Miles Gray. So I was coming into his office, learning, hearing live presentations. So I didn't take that time for granted. I worked that entire 7 weeks. And by the time it did come in, I was ready to go.
Man, that's awesome, dude. So talk to us about that first week. Because I know, and something we're definitely going to talk about is you run exclusively digital leads, which, you know, is something that is really, you know, I've been in this industry for 5 years. We didn't have anything like we have today.
No.
You know, even a year and a half ago, you know, so that's a big part. But dude, talk about that first week, that experience hitting the phones.
Yep.
You know, obviously I think you did old aged leads,
Yep.
you know, to start with.
Yep.
Talk to us about that experience.
So I think I had a good plan of attack when I came in. Tier 2 leads, I started out with those age mailers, and I worked those for about 3 weeks. And I didn't realize that I actually got into digital leads in about 3 weeks. But I did really well with the Tier 2. I talked to a lot of good families. I think my first investment, I spent $1,000. And out of that $1,000, I think I helped maybe 4 or 5 families. And then I took that and then I put that right back into the business. And I think that's where a lot of new agents might, you know, make a mistake is, you know, they might put that money elsewhere when that money really needs to go strictly back into the business.
Yeah.
So, I tell my new agents that all the time. So after 3 weeks, I bought more mailers, but I also invested into digital leads, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah,
I haven't looked back since. The exclusivity of having a lead that's not resold. Yeah. At that high level of an intent. Yeah. I mean, you can't really beat that.
What was that like after, you know, 3 weeks of what I'm sure were, and I won't put words in your mouth. How many dials a day were you doing those first week or two on the old leads?
300 dials.
Yeah.
Our schedule was actually, so I was with Miles at the time. He had like a community office where he was living at. So I think it was him, Elijah, and maybe a couple more agents, and we were coming in. We were working out at like 4:30, maybe even 4. So we were working it out and then getting right on the phones. Right on the phones until maybe like 6, 7 p.m. So I think that really taught me a lot. And me coming in, I mean, I always believed that I'm going to talk to really good people. And I ran right into the people that needed help immediately. I think I sold my first, I almost sold it the first, I think I sold the second day out of the lead batch. So
dude, I love and hate you because like Jonah, we'll talk about this because it's like I love the story, but I'm thinking about like grinding on the phone and all the fumbles I made.
Yep.
Jonah, I think you were 3 weeks in, right before your first sound. Hey, this guy over here, Mr. Happy, sells his second week. You know, 30 families is his first month, dude. But that's incredible, dude. So happy for you.
Thank you.
And dude, legitimately, you have the right mindset that whole time. Even the way you treated the having to wait 7 weeks for your license. Like, dude, I got my license in like 3 days. Like, so you had to wait 7 weeks and you're like, oh yeah, I stayed positive. I'm door dashing. I'm listening to training. I'm going to the office, learning from Miles, all that stuff. So what was the difference going from that $300 a day, those age leads, to Strong Point?
Well, here's the thing. So I did keep the mailers for about maybe another, I think I did another month and a half.
Okay.
So I kept them and I was kind of supplementing them with running my my digital leads. So I kept the mailers. I was kind of running like a hybrid system. But in terms of when I switched fully to Strong Point, I mean, my dials went from 300 to maybe usually about 80 to 100 dials. And I was able to get that 3 to 5 presentations, which was super helpful. Yeah. Actually, shout out to Jonah because he took me from a level where I was presenting 3 times a day up to 5 times a day. And that's the quickest way to help 20 families in a week, by the way. Quick tip.
Yeah.
5 presentations a day.
Yeah.
But Malik, talk to us about, because a couple things that stand out to me is, number one, your level of preparation before you came into this business.
100%.
Where, again, we talk about, the best training you're going to get is just by simply going out there and doing it.
Yep.
But it's also important to make sure that you're prepared coming into it, and just your level of preparation where it happened by coincidence. Like you didn't intentionally, like, I wouldn't recommend, like, don't wait 7 weeks to get started. Don't train for 7 weeks. But just like the reps that you put in terms of training before you even hit the phones is a direct testament to your success, but also and mainly your schedule. What was your schedule like?
Oh yeah, let's start with the schedule. I was starting usually around 3:30. 3:30, I was up. I did
3:30 a.m. or p.m.?
Sorry, yeah. Let me be specific. 3:30 a.m.
Oh, a.m.
And a quick preface on this: you're a parent, and so you have responsibility. And I think that's important for other parents to know, because sometimes they hear like, "Oh, I can't do this. I have kids," and so I think that makes what you've done even more impressive. So put that in there as you're explaining your schedule.
No excuses.
Now, here's the thing. If you do have kids, you definitely have to start early. So I knew that the kids were asleep. So me getting up at 3:30 and already making phone calls by about 4. We're at the gym at 4:30 to 5, usually 5:15, and then we're right on the phones.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much my schedule every single day. I mean,
Calling people on the East Coast where it was a couple hours ahead.
East Coast.
So people are like, "Oh, he's calling people at 5 in the morning."
all East Coast leads, which is nice. And that's the great thing about this industry. You can kind of mold your schedule into what aligns with yourself.
Yeah.
So I had no problem getting up early already, and then the guys love working out. I love working out myself. So raising your vibration before you get on the phone, I think having that energy level. You can't help, another family in my eyes until you first help yourself, get yourself right, getting on the phone that way. So yeah, I was in the gym at 4:30, worked out for about 30, 45 minutes, and then right on the phones. We were on the phones from usually about 5:30 all the way up until like 11:30. We would take a break, just get some sun, and then we only take like a 30-minute break, and then we were right back on the phones running presentations. Usually until around 6, 7 p.m.
That's a winning schedule, man. That's a winning schedule. Jonah, talk quickly here, because obviously you have over the last year and a half, I mean, I don't know how many new agents you brought in, hundreds. And what we're hearing from Malik is rare. Just the level of work ethic, the level of preparation, to your point. What made Malik stand out, and why did he have success so early?
Yeah, I mean, well, a few things. I mean, first of all, just simply your work ethic. But not only that, just your obsession with business and with this game, where you have to become obsessed and you have to really immerse yourself.
Yeah.
Where you became obsessed with self-improvement and getting better and figuring this business out. And on top of that, you treated it like a business. You didn't treat it like a job. This isn't a 9 to 5. If you're looking for a 9 to 5, please don't work here. Like you treat it like a business, and you continually seek to not only develop yourself, develop your skill set, but also your leads. And when you become obsessed with maxing out every aspect and becoming the best in every area of your business, that's going to be a direct testament to your results. And it's share with us, what was your mindset behind having such hunger and such a drive to come in and win at such a high level so quickly?
Great question. Well, two things I think that can attest to that. Well, one, starting off, of course, you guys know I have kids. I mean, my back's against the wall every day. I got to get out and provide for my daughter and my son, which is awesome. And then two, it did help that I already had a business of my own beforehand.
Yeah.
So I knew what it felt like. I remember the day when I quit my my solar job, and then I was like, all right, I'm an entrepreneur. And I remember that day I was kind of going through it because I didn't know what was going to happen. And I remember at the end of that day, I'm like, you know what? I have to fully submerge myself into what I have going on, and then of course you'll get that outcome that you're looking for. So I think having the mindset of already having became a business owner from beforehand, plus of course the kids' motivation. I think that's what really drove me into that success early on.
And also, you'll hear different entrepreneurs share about this, and we were talking about this in the training the other day, where just you look at any highly successful individual, regardless of the industry, they make sacrifices, and they become really good at saying no. Like, if you want to win in a high level in business, you have to have the ability to say no to a lot of things.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you've had to say no to, and what are some things you've had to sacrifice?
I could tell you no more hanging out, no more, hanging out with the friends. I cut that off pretty quickly. Even my family, I mean, they have so much appreciation for what I'm doing. But they were kind of like, hey, take it easy on yourself. I'm like, I know where I'm going with this. Just trust me. Just trust me. And now, of course they're super proud, but just having that mentality the whole entire time throughout, any adversity. So not hanging out, not staying up watching Netflix, little things that I used to do, staying up late at night. As soon as I got back home, well, I was going straight to sleep, putting the kids to sleep, and then getting right back up early and coming right back to the office. So I really had no choice but to focus on the mission.
And not only do you, because I see, like, I think some agents, it's, two things that really stand out to me is you're putting in the work, and I see a lot of people putting in the work, but they're afraid to invest themselves. Or some agents, they're not afraid to invest in themselves, but they have struggles staying disciplined and putting in the effort and the discipline it takes to be successful. So not only, again, we just spoke on your work ethic, but what was your mindset behind, always you talk about putting, you made $1,000, put it right back in the business, made a couple grand, put it right back in the business in the beginning.
Yep.
What caused you to do that? What was your mindset behind that?
Well, one, shout out to Jonah, because he's the one who's been leading the way this whole time. So, I mean, thank you for setting me up in that way. But the mentality of investing back into the own business, I mean, no lead flow, no cash flow. So I always wanted to keep, a bunch of leads on me, no matter what they were, just to make sure, for me personally, I'll buy leads before I pay a bill. But that, I'm not recommending that for anyone, but that's just my mentality with it. So I think we already had a great foundation for management-wise from yourself, from the IMO, and I think that's what really set us up for success early on, for sure.
Well, it really set you up for success is having the right mindset, and having the right viewpoint in this business. Because it was the same thing for me.
Yeah.
Where I had the decision between paying rent or investing my last $1,000 into a batch of leads when I hadn't even made a sale yet, and thank God I did. Or else I don't know, probably we wouldn't all be here. But it's because this business is especially when you first start, like your first 30, 90 days, your business is an eating, breathing, sleeping child. If you're getting constant nourishment, attention, you grow with you investing back into it. And unfortunately, it can die really, really fast. Yeah. So just based on what you said, and you really became obsessed with it. And what was, so you're investing into leads, and then not only that, but also I think some people, they'll start working cheaper leads and they'll get really good at those, and they become a little bit too obsessed with the ROI of the leads. So not only were you investing into leads, but then you were upgrading your leads to get higher quality leads. Yep. What made you do that?
And I think with that, real quick, because I want you to add this to the answer, you have been growing a team rapidly. Yep. And I notice, I mean, you have Jewel here, who I think out of just got 32, something like that, fresh digital leads, and closed like 9 of them. And he's brand new. Yep. So I think that fact, so add that into your answer there, like how those played into there.
Sorry, one more time. How
in your decision to, really focus on a fresher lead, how that aided your growth of your business, because you've been rocketing.
And to give some context, just dollar wise, it's you went from spending $5-6 a lead to what, $45 a lead?
At the time, I think when they first came out, they might have been like 35, but now, they might be 50.
Sure. Okay. In that range.
Yep. Yeah, somewhere in that range. I'm not gonna lie, that I used all the money I had, put it back into leads. Yeah. So what made me do that? I just knew that at some point, it's a good mentality to have when you're, working someone into a presentation and getting someone that's ready to go for a presentation. Now, I had no clue what they were. I think Miles, he introduced them to me. He's like, bro, buy these leads right now. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And he was explaining to me the value of them, but I had no clue. I'm like, they're leads, like I'll work them. So I ended up buying them, and I understood immediately what exactly he was getting at. He's always one step ahead of the game. So coming into a lead that was that high intent and I can present at that high a level. Now, I didn't do the best at the digital lead when I first started, which was okay, because a lot of agents did the same thing. They minded out and did well, and then they turned back to the mailers. I just bought another pack. I didn't even mind. I was like, let's do it again. So on the second pack, then I seen a 4, then the next one 5, and the highest I've seen is a 12x ROI. So coming back into my team, I knew that the goal was to get them into a fresher lead as soon as possible for digital leads. So coming in for Jewel Hall, I mean, I'm pretty much giving them everything that they need to be successful. I mean, I want to have these guys top producing in their first like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. And you're really maximizing your time there. Because I mean, obviously, what's the difference between, dialing 300 dials so you can get your own appointments in
Yeah.
to where you're dialing 80, 100, and that's when you started.
Yep.
And I'm sure you're even better now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then making the most of their time. Because dude, I love seeing your Instagram posts with your crew. I don't think I've ever seen more agents writing more packed in a smaller space.
We're all like on top of each other. You can't even hear anything there.
It's like, dude,
That's family.
150,000 being written in a broom closet.
A lot of AP going up in that room.
Like, what's going on? So has it been, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, and we haven't talked a whole lot about this. I'm just guessing, but I want to hear from you. What is it like training agents? Because I know, like you said, you had them start off like you did. You have them working the lower intent leads for a couple weeks, and then they go into this.
Yep.
What's that teaching process like for you? Is it easier? Is it harder? Like, what's your honest opinion?
Well, that's a great question. I think so. I don't wait to start getting them trained. So when I recruit them, I have them get their license, focus on the license. As soon as the license comes in, training starts. You guys better be in the office, and that was the agreement from the get-go. I already have your schedule down. I know what hours you can work. So these guys have been coming to the office as soon as so while they're waiting on their contracting and everything to go, they should be ready to go by their first day. When they have their contracts in, they should be ready to go. We already know their lead spin. So they should have everything they need. And then coming into it, of course, everyone needs
guys over there,
reps.
why is requiring them to come into the office and setting those expectations before they're hired so important?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I was like, why wait? Why wait until you finally get your contracts and then I gotta sit here and train when I can start from the very beginning? I want these guys to top produce as early as possible. So I was like, well, in my mind, well, if I can start the training after they finish their test, well, now we're shortening that learning curve is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. That's powerful. And what is it like helping them? Like for Jewel, you can use him as an example.
Yep.
He was dialing those second chance mortgage.
Yep.
I mean, that goes the same way for almost anybody.
Yeah.
they're putting in a lot of dials, dealing with a lot of rejection. And you find the people that, are just looking for it, that want it. And then you go to this completely different lead, which is, it's better, but it's also its own unique challenge.
Unique, yeah.
Because, the person answers a lot easier.
Right.
They know what they want.
Yep.
But, it's different.
It's different.
What's that like teaching? What was it like for him?
For him, I think I teach more on painting the picture, because we can go back and forth about this and that, but like the first thing I ask the agent is what is the picture you're trying to paint? So where is the gray area? So finding that first, I think that's what I mostly did the teaching on, because anyone can read a script. The script might get you there, but it's up to you to actually close it. So I focus more on painting the picture, especially for Jewel, and that I think that's what help these guys be a lot more successful. Now with digital leads, I think one of the hurdles was I ran more into the people that were against the fence. So I don't think I was as good as painting the picture as these guys coming in. So I think that was the value add and what maybe I was missing, and I had to learn on myself. So that's why I teach these guys from the get-go. Of course, this is an emotional sell, so you guys got to be good at providing the actual solution, getting it out of their mouth, and then getting them into something that actually works and fits, coverage-wise for the family.
Is the structure of your appointment, because obviously we have scripts, right up the bat, we're teaching new agents the structure, the intro, the financial inventory, here's how you explain the coverage, the benefits, finding the why.
Yep.
Is the structure different for a fresh digital lead as it is for an older lead, or is it similar? What's that like?
It's very, very similar. I think everything is the same except the hook page, of course. You're presenting, they know what it is, that these guys just submitted the request. For the digital leads, I have them reach out as soon as the request. I don't care if it's submitted at night, send him or her a text, let them know we received your request, send them your contact card so they have your information, give them 2 time frames to look out for. So I think them keeping up with that speed really helped them get into the presentation well.
That's phenomenal. Well, how many agents do you have in that office out there right now?
So it's funny because now 2 more agents are coming in, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do right now, but I think we have 12 total agents, and then right now there's 7 desks. So we have like desks in the middle, in between. I did put up like some little like soundproof boards, but that was no help. We have some headphones. I don't even think that's helping either.
So the top producer gets his own desk.
Yeah.
Everybody else has got to buddy up.
Ooh, that's good.
That's too big. Yes, exactly.
Make them earn it. Dude, those first offices, we had ours where it was basically just a little storefront. Jonah had his, that first office where it's like, we're all looking for space. What made you, because when did you start this, Malik?
I started at the very end of September of last year. I think I have 5 more days in September. Yeah, so I started the last September at the very end.
Okay, so you're just, that's 9 months ago, 10 months ago.
Yep.
And what made you go after this? Obviously, you shared your kids, but you obviously, from the way you recruited, brought people in, you were going to build a business. And you alluded to it a second ago. You're talking about that first month.
Yep.
What everything you made, you threw it right back into leads. What was it looking at Jonah? Was it looking at someone else? What made you see what this could be, and what's your vision for what you want to do?
I would definitely give it up to the leadership that we have here. Hearing, gave your story, Jonah's story, Joe's story. I knew that with this vehicle, long-term goals are now short-term goals. So, and it's funny because I actually took a look at some of the goals that I written down from when I started in September. I've hit 3 out of 5 of those goals already. So, you know what? I need to shoot bigger because this is the fast move. If you treat it with that respect, I think you can achieve those goals within a year to 2 years, which is awesome. Definitely a blessing, and I'm grateful for that for sure.
If it's not too personal, could I ask, what are the 3 goals that you hit? What are the 2 that you're still striving for?
The 2 that I'm striving for, they were kind of off. They weren't about the industry. One was like I was supposed to be fluent in Spanish, and I think the other one was I was supposed to have done a lot more yoga, to become more flexible.
Yeah.
But in terms of the ones that I hit, I think I wrote down 30 agents. So I had the 30 agents down. I wrote down Hall of Fame, which I'm on track for that. So I feel like I'm already counting that one in the bag for that one. So it was Recruits, Hall of Fame. Oh, I'm missing one more. It'll come back to me. I have my book in here on the counter, but I pretty much hit. I counted Hall of Fame already. I just wanted to speak that into existence.
Yeah, dude. What are you at for the year so far, as business written?
For issue paid?
Yeah.
Just over. I think I'm just over somewhere around 330,000.
Oh yeah, I mean you're well. You're well on pace. Dude, Jonah, don't you wish you had 1,000 Maliks?
Yeah. If everybody we hired was like you, it'd be a game changer.
What has it been like for you working with Malik and his group? Obviously we've already highlighted a couple of things that helped him have early success. What are some of the things that you see from him that are making him such a good trainer, getting these guys in the office, inspiring them?
Yeah. First of all, it all starts with leading from the front. Your level of dedication towards your people. You truly care about your people. I can tell you truly care about them. You love them. You want them to see you. You want them to win on a very high level. And it's you got to care about your people. You got to care about your people and be there for them. And you're not telling your agents to do anything that you're not doing, because your agents don't do what you say, they do what you do, and you're doing it. And also just your ability to stay grounded, where you're just not only you're so incredibly positive, but you're so consistent.
Yep. Where
you talk about how your first batch of leads, you didn't have a great return on that. It's okay.
Yeah.
Same with me. It's regardless of how good or bad yesterday was, you continue to show up, continue to be consistent, and continue to seek and get better and develop yourself. And bro, it's been inspiring. It motivates me to work harder, and it fires me up. And awesome. just having guys like you a part of the group, it just brings up the entire organization collectively and inspires all of us to develop and become better.
I couldn't agree more, man. the consistency, the positivity, and dude, seeing your team come in, you know, you would try. My pastor growing up used to say, you attract what you are, not what you want. And just seeing these guys just as positive, good attitude, hardworking, grinding, dude, I love it. Every time I see your office, I mean, even though it's small, I'm like, dude, I have FOMO, bro. I'm like, I'm missing out.
It's a great team camaraderie in there, even though it is, you know, packed in there. But I love it. I mean, providing that opportunity that someone gave me, I think is the most heartwarming, because, you know, we're actually making a real impact, not only in the families' lives that we're protecting, but for, you know, the agents that we're bringing in. You know, a lot of these guys and girls, they might not have been in the best financial situation. And now, you know, coming in, they're seeing sales, more money than, you know, I've ever seen, they've ever seen. They're not only able to change their life, but, you know, their whole family trajectory as well.
Let's talk about two things here. Let's break into that. It's a perfect segue. What change has this brought in your life personally? This industry, Pinnacle, Prosper, what's this done for you?
I think it's brought me more value in people. I think that I always had, of course, a positive mindset, but man, it almost brings tears to my eyes, because knowing of the power that that we hold in this industry to be able to go out and actually protect someone's family. I mean, I've already, you know, dealt with a death claim, and I remember that family to this day. He was actually he was bedridden at the time, and the nurses were in and out, and he actually passed, I want to say like 3 months later. The family reached out, you know, we took care of him, and I wouldn't trade that feeling for anything, and being able to actually, you know, provide that solution that we actually talked about. So I'm actually standing on what I said in the beginning and getting that family protected.
That's huge. That's huge. And then we talked about this when we were like still getting the pod set up, just me and you chatting. And I think it's not something I don't want to skip over. You had, you know, done some corporate positions for sales and stuff before, and you made the comment, you're like, dude, this is life changing for the clients. And I've never had anything like this. Obviously you just shared that story, but elaborate a little more on that, like what you do for clients on a daily basis.
Well, one, there's a couple things. You know, we're trying to preserve, you know, their lives. We're protecting, you know, maybe a gray area that they didn't have in place. But also, I do things like I send CMOS to the clients. CMOS basically flushes all the toxins out of the body. So I want to do all I can for that family. A lot of the families that I've reached out to, I have really close connections to this day. Some will fly out to San Diego, they'll come see me, or they'll invite me to their house if I'm ever in, you know, whatever other state. Some clients will just call me like, hey, you know, I think something's up. Like, oh, what? They're calling me, and I answer the phone that, hey, Malik, I just wanted to see how your day was going. Just hope all is well. Or, you know, I actually have, you know, a family that, or one of my cousins that needs help as well. Can you take a look at some options for them? The referral business, just off of, you know, being a transparent person, you know, doing what you're supposed to do, staying consistent, like Jonah was saying. I think just giving off that energy is what, you know, connects the dots to the next person, to the next family.
Absolutely. And do you get quite a few referrals?
Yes. Yeah, that's a little secret. Yes, I do get a lot of referrals, and I don't have like a referral script or anything. Everyone's always asking me for referral scripts. I'm like, I don't know, man. And the thing too about switching from mailers to what I had to find out to digital leads, I had to stop being like the strong arm mortgage guy, like, but I let my wallet, like, you get Malik on the phone. You get me on the phone. I mean, we're having a great conversation. A lot of the agents are looking at me like, why is he always laughing so hard on the phone? But we're really having such a great conversation. And you know, we by the end of the presentation, by the end of the client worksheet, well, now they know me on a personal level. Sometimes I've even sent over pictures of my kids. They want to see the kids. I ask about their kids. So we just build really close connections during the presentation.
Yeah, and I want to touch on the importance of that, because, dude, it also makes the appointment so much more fun.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that, where, you know, like you said, when you're calling the traditional mortgage protection lead, it's, hey, I'm the medical underwriter assigned to your case. Like, you know, it's kind of like you have this personification to the client where you're sitting in a dingy office, simply then like going through it, very just methodical, like almost mindless type of appointment. Where
wow, you just painted the picture, like the yellow lights sucking the life out of you.
Like, you know, you're trying to, like, you know, like be very monotone, like a little bit like, a little bit depressed. But it's when you're calling digital leads, the beauty of it, you can, exactly what you said, you can be yourself.
Yep.
You can let that wall down a little bit. You can be yourself, and and it makes it just so much funner appointment. To be honest with you.
It does.
Because you can really connect with the client, and there doesn't have to be this disconnect. You just simply communicate with them and simply serve them.
Love that.
And I want to transition a little bit more tactical.
Cool.
You want to run through your presentation?
Oh, yeah.
Do a
Of
role play?
course. Yeah, of course. Let's do it.
All
That's
right.
what the people want.
That's what the people want. That's what the people
Let's give it to
watching
them.
this podcast want to hear. They want to hear the sauce.
So you want me to start like you're a strong point lead?
Call me like I'm a lead, bro.
Okay. Hey, Jonah.
Yes.
Hey, Jonah. This is Malik Love, senior underwriter with the Mortgage Protection Department. We did receive your request for coverage on the home. Looks like you had John Jr. listed as a beneficiary. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. What is this for?
This was the mortgage protection. So this was the coverage that would pay off or down the home in case of a death or disability. So I just wanted to make sure you said it was John that the home would be passed down to.
Yes.
Okay. Does he currently live there with you now?
He does, yes.
Okay. It's perfect. So I'm just gonna send over all my state license information. I just sent that to you via text. Did you receive that?
Yeah, it just came through. I just got it.
Awesome. So I'll have you click on that card there. That's my contact card. In the middle there, you'll see my national producer number. So that's my social as an agent. That's the number to use to look me up with the Department of Insurance. And also, Jonah, this is my direct line, so I'll be your point of contact moving forward for the process, okay?
Okay.
Okay, gotcha. Now, I'm assuming this is your first time in the mortgage protection process for the home?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I was mainly looking for a quote.
For a quote. Okay, yeah, no problem. So I do work with every A-listed carrier, so I actually have to just go through some medical, couple financial questions with you just to make sure we find the correct carrier for you. That sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. So my job is pretty simple. Basically, I'm just going to spend 2 minutes asking some health and financial questions. Now, being on the medical side, I'm a broker with the state. So I do have access to just about every A-listed carrier across the board. So all my job entails here, I'm just going to take a look across the whole market for you. I'll present you with a couple options to take a look at. If we do find something that, meets your family's needs coverage-wise and, more importantly, at the right price point for you. All we do from there is simply submit a request for coverage to see if the insurance carrier actually takes us or not.
Okay.
And then, Jonah, these are all simplified programs by the state. So there's not going to be any nurse coming out to draw any blood, take any urine, nothing like that. All the insurance carriers are simply going to do is just take a look at your medical records for prescriptions, surgeries, things of that nature for the coverage there.
Okay. Understood.
And then for the eligibility check, for the medical records, just 2 things required by the insurance carrier. One will be the driver's license number to confirm your identity. And then 2 will be the social for that medical information bureau report. That's the report there that'll pull up your prescription and surgery history for the carrier there. Okay.
Okay. I typically don't give my social out over the phone though.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you need that?
Yeah. No worries. I don't need that. The insurance carrier will require that for the medical report. But tell you what, I just sent you over a link to the Department of Insurance. Did you receive that one?
Yes, I did.
Okay, perfect. I'm just going to walk you through the steps there. So go ahead and click on that link.
Okay.
On that first page, you'll go ahead and put licensee.
Okay.
And then my first name, Malik.
Okay.
Last name, Love. And then my license number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, perfect. You see that name pop up there, my license active?
Oh, yep. Looks
Okay.
like, all right.
Yeah.
Looks like you're in the system here.
Yeah. If you're ever in San Diego, please stop by. Yep.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds
So I just want
good.
to make sure you have all my information there. And then I just want to make sure I had you down at 69 years young.
Yes.
16. Okay, perfect. And then are you still working, retired?
Still working.
Still working. Okay. What is it that you do for work?
I do construction.
Construction. Okay. You've been doing that for a while?
I'm doing it for 10 years.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I actually used to do plumbing and piping back in the day, so I'm super familiar with the construction aspect of it. I absolutely love the job, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's rewarding.
And then I just want to make sure I have the date of birth listed as 1/2/1957.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And then also after taxes, about how much is coming in for you on a monthly basis from the position?
About 4,200.
About 42. Okay. And I also had you down as a non-smoker. Was that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that helps big time there. Any other sources of income coming in for you at this time?
No.
Just that. Okay.
Just that.
Awesome. And then can you confirm your height and weight?
Yes. So my height is 5'8", 180.
180. Okay, awesome. And then any surgeries for you in the last 10 years?
I had a knee surgery a couple years ago.
Just knee. Okay.
That's about it.
How was the rehab for that? I know that area is usually a little tougher on the knee.
Yeah, I was down for about a month or so, and then back to normal.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy.
Nothing too great. Did they prescribe anything for it?
Some sort of pain medication.
Just pains. Okay. Like, was it oxycodone or?
No, it wasn't nothing too crazy. I can't remember the medication. Though.
Okay. How long ago was that?
That was
surgery?
2 years ago.
About 2 years ago. Okay. So we should be good to go. Medication-wise, anything that you're currently taking or might have been prescribed?
Yeah, went to the doctor, said I had high blood pressure, so he prescribed me some lisinopril.
Lisinopril. Okay. Anything else besides the lisinopril for you?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. And about how long ago was that prescribed for the lisinopril?
Oh gosh, it's probably about 3 months ago now.
About 3 months ago. Okay.
Sent me to lay off the sodium.
Did you have you tried any sort of CMOS?
No, what is that?
So CMOS basically.
Malik wasn't lying. He really gets into that. He was waiting for the opportunity.
Really was. I was hoping he said blood pressure. I'm like,
When you said sodium, he just twitched.
I hope you're getting some commission off the CMOS.
Definitely. No, but those are the sort of connections I always want to make because even if they hadn't said it, I would have shared a story with how my pops. I was able to help him lower his blood pressure by like beet juice, CMOS. So I always ask those sort of things. I want to be able to preserve someone's life. So that's why I always take my time with like the medications and prescriptions. I want to know how can I give them some sort of information on the holistic side that might help them. You never know.
And think about, even if I just was never going to do that, I thought that was stupid. It's like the value you're providing for clients where it's like, I can tell you truly care about me.
Yep.
And you're trying to provide value, even if you're not receiving anything in return.
Yep.
And to your point, like the digital lead, like it's a different, you both said it, it's a different angle.
Yep.
Like it's a little more sales. Like they know you're calling them about and they want it. And so making that connection, like, I mean, it's a good thing.
It's the best and the worst part about it.
Yeah.
It's the best thing because it's not like you're never going to get like, oh, I thought we had to, sign it and send it back. I thought this was required or da-da-da. Like they filled it out.
Yep.
They know exactly what it's for.
Yeah.
They want it.
Yep.
They're interested. But they also know that you're calling them exactly to sell them that product.
Yes.
So it's like the best and worst thing at the same time.
100%.
As long as you know to properly navigate it.
Okay. So you sold them some oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Sorry, where did we leave off? The
CMOS
You just
and blood
sold
pressure.
them some CMOS.
Oh yeah,
It changed his
sold
life.
them CMOS.
His
Yes.
sodium is lower.
No, but so I would have shared that story about my dad, how I would have helped him, or how I helped him bring down his blood pressure. So I always share little things like that. Will they try it? Maybe, sure. If I do protect them, I usually send them CMOS anyway, so they'll end up trying it. Okay, so and you said that was it for the prescription wise?
That's it.
That's it. Okay, awesome. So I'm just gonna run through some medical questions real quick. Let me know if you hear anything for yourself. Any heart attacks, strokes, or TIAs?
No.
Okay. Any cancer, stents, or diabetes?
Nope.
Okay. And then I got the high blood pressure. Any neuropathy or lupus?
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
Breathing wise, any asthma or COPD?
No. Thank God everything's good.
Okay. Awesome. Last couple here. Any thyroid, anxiety, or depression?
Mm-mm.
Okay. And then lastly, any kidney or liver disease?
No, sir.
Okay. So we should be good to go. And I just wanted to make sure, is there anything else? Because usually on the medical report, prescriptions stay on there for anywhere about 5 to 7 years. So even if you're not taking it, it might still stay on there. So I just want to make sure, I take note of that for the carrier. So
Nope.
no,
That's it.
Okay. If you think of anything else, just let me know.
Okay.
And then about how much do you own the home now?
I owe about 300.
About 300. Okay. And I'm assuming that was a 30-year mortgage term for you?
Yes.
30. Okay. And then how long have you been in the residence?
We've been here 3 years now.
About 3 years. Okay. And then you know about how much the home is currently valued at?
I have no idea. No.
Okay. Take a look on mine then. And then about how much is the monthly mortgage payment?
The monthly mortgage payment is $1,300.
$1,300. Okay. And are you currently making any extra payments towards the principal of the loan at this time?
I wish we could, but right now, no.
No. Okay. No worries. And then now, John, I know if anything happened to yourself, I know the check would be going to John Jr. there. I know you shared that he lived in the home. Now, do you know if he would be looking to stay in the home if anything happened to yourself, or would he be looking to sell the home?
That's a good question. He talked about moving to Florida, so he'd probably sell it. to be
Right,
honest
sell
with
it.
you. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And then does he have a family of his own?
Well, he's actually he has got a baby on the way right now.
Oh wow, this is your first grandchild.
Yeah, so I'm about to be a grandpa.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. Yeah, I actually got two myself. My daughter is 1, and then my son is 3. So I'm just getting started there.
Oh wow,
That's a blessing.
good for you.
You have any other kids?
Yeah, I've got a daughter. She lives in Missouri.
Okay. Set a great foundation for him.
Yes, sir.
All right. And then do you have anything that would act as life insurance, like any 401k, IRA, stocks, bonds, or mutual funds?
Yes, I have life insurance through my work.
All through the work. Okay. That's a great foundation there. Now, what we'll be taking a look at is something a little more permanent. Even if you're not at work, you're on disability leave, sick leave, you're no longer with the position, these coverages actually stay in effect for you. So there'll be a permanent option for you and the family. I need to go back. Now, damn, there's one more thing I say about that too. I always try to differentiate on those. Okay. And then do you have any standard life insurance like outside of work?
I got a policy I took out about 10 years ago. I think it's about 20,000.
About 20,000. Okay. And I'm assuming that was that a permanent option you were saying, or was that a term?
I'd have to look. I think it was a permanent. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know about how much cover? You said it was 20,000. You know about how much you're paying for that coverage?
I think about $80 a month.
About $80.
I remember.
And then about how long ago was that policy put in force for you?
About 10 years ago.
About 10 years ago. Okay. Gotcha. Now I'm assuming that would be on the permanent side. Did you want me to take a look at options? You said the mortgage balance was around 300,000. You have a 20K. Was the 20K was that used for the final expenses?
Yes.
That was that. Okay. Gotcha. Cover. And then so I got done with. I'm doing the financial inventory in my head. Okay. Cool. And then I just want to make sure for John Jr. Did he also have a middle initial in his name?
Yes. His middle initial is Charles.
Okay. And then best date of birth for John Jr.
His date of birth is 1/27/1990.
1990. Okay, cool. All right, Jonah, and then what is the address that you're looking to protect today?
It's going to be the 123 Main Street.
123 Main Street. Okay. And then just to let you know, what we're looking for here, we're looking to make sure, you're covered on the living side. Now, life insurance, of course, pays out when you pass. The main thing that we're looking to do here, the number one reason why families end up losing their home is not actually because they pass, it's because they end up getting sick, going to the hospital, kind of falling behind on those mortgage payments. So how we combat that with the mortgage protection, if there was a chronic or a terminal illness, you'd actually have access to that death benefit while you're alive to be able to pull from, take care of any mortgage payments, medical bills, things of that nature. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So not only does it pay out after you pass, but we want to make sure you're covered on the living side for that mortgage as well.
Understood.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to get that medical check started here for you. Do you have your driver's license number handy?
I do, yes.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready. I got you.
All right. It's DL 1234567
Okay, perfect. And that was issued out of the state of Missouri?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead with your social.
All right. It's going to be 1234567.
Okay, gotcha. And then I'm assuming, is this the best number to reach you on, Jonah?
Yes.
Okay. And then I have the email address on file, the jlewis at gmail.com.
That's
okay.
me.
And then lastly, where were you originally born?
I was originally born in South Dakota.
In South Dakota. Okay, perfect. All right, so this will take me maybe just 2 or 3 minutes to get everything started here for you. When I get back on the line, I'll go over both the program benefits as well as all the options to submit a request for. In the meantime, if you can, maybe just grab a piece of paper and a pen. When I get back on the line, I'll just have you write down a couple things so we're on the same page, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Hold, and then I'll get started.
But
You want me to finish?
Yeah.
Or- okay.
Close it down.
Close it down. Okay.
Close me out.
He was 59, I think I said, or 69? 69.
Either
Okay.
one.
Okay, perfect. 69. And then just high blood pressure medication. Okay, cool. All right, Jonah, you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, were you able to grab that piece of paper and a pen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So the first thing I'll have you write down, company name we're going to be taking a look at. This is Liberty Bankers.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're looking at here, this is permanent coverage.
Okay.
Okay, permanent coverage. Okay, and then also the death benefit as well as the monthly premiums, they stay the exact same the whole way through. Okay. Death benefit, monthly premiums. So these are level programs by the state, so they won't go up or down on you. Okay.
Understood.
And then also, there's no sort of probate period with these protection plans. So there's no court system involved. That money would come directly to John Jr. if anything happened to yourself. Okay.
Okay.
And then I know we talked about living benefits. So I'll be write down living benefits.
Okay.
Okay. Looks like this company awarded you with chronic and terminal illness protection.
Okay.
So if anything happens under those two umbrellas, again, you would have access to that death benefit while you're alive to be able to take care of your mortgage payments, medical bills, anything of that nature. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And then because of this is permanent, I'll be write down builds cash value.
Okay.
Builds cash value. So every time that you pay into the policy, you will be earning a compounded interest that'll just continue to build and build for the family there. That cash value is completely up to you to use as you please there. Okay. So the benefit with the program. And then lastly, I'll have you write down day one coverage.
Okay.
Day one coverage. So if you are approved for the program, you're actually covered from the day that you applied. So there's no sort of waiting period there for the family.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the benefits I went through?
No, everything was pretty straightforward.
Okay. I just want to make sure I didn't go too fast. So 3 options I have you write down at a gold, silver, and bronze package. Now, Jonah, what this program is going to do, and I know you shared with me that John Jr. will most likely end up selling the home. So what this is going to do for him, this is going to give him time to mourn, time to grieve, also provide that cushion period of time to where the home is continuously paid and it's not lost to the bank there. John Jr. will also have the time needed to get the home cleaned up, listed, and put onto the market so that the equity stored inside the home is secured as well, which I know you guys have worked hard for, okay? Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to lay out 3 options. Now, this would cover for John anywhere between 3 to 12 months of mortgage payments to allow him that time to, get accommodated to the mortgage to be able to get it cleaned up and sold. So I just want to know whatever's most comfortable and affordable for you. So you let me know what option that is, and then we'll see if, we can get you that approval for the family. That sound okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect. So that gold option, that would be 12 months of mortgage payments. Anything happens to yourself, that would be 12 months of mortgage payments provided to John. That monthly there is $102.
Okay.
$102. Okay. And then I got the silver option. That would be 9 months of mortgage payments. 9 months of mortgage payments, and that would be $86.
Okay.
Okay. And I also got the bronze package. That would be 6 months mortgage payments, and that monthly there will be $65.
Understood.
Okay. And let me know if you want me to repeat any of those back to you.
Nope, I got him here.
You got them. Okay. So out of those 3 options, Jonah, what do you think would be the right amount of time to leave John Jr. if something happened to yourself? Now keep in mind, usually for what I see in most cases with families, to get the home cleaned up and put onto the market is somewhere between that 6 to 12 months. So I just want to make sure I find whatever's most comfortable, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
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 Can I think about it and give you a call tomorrow?
Yeah, so what we're doing right now, we're just actually taking a look at some preliminary numbers. So we don't actually have an official approval. But what I do recommend, Jonah, is we maybe start with a silver or, even bronze option, just so, you have that approval. You have something to think about. You're able to talk to the family, and you actually have some sort of coverage in place. So does that bronze option, does that sound like something that $60 option a month, does that sound like something comfortable for you and the family there?
Yeah, I can make that work.
You can make that work? Okay. Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure, you said you could make that work, or did you want me to take a look at a lower option there as well?
I can make that work.
The 60, okay. I just
Yep.
want to make sure. Okay, so I'm going to get started on that approval there for you on the family. What I'm going to do is the insurance carrier is just going to validate that your name matches on the account it's coming from. These are day one coverage programs. Who is it that you bank with out there?
I bank with Chase.
Bank with Chase. Okay, let me just see what we have on file for Chase. And that was open in the state of Missouri?
Yes.
Okay. So what we show on file for Chase is the routing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct. Okay. And then I'll just have you confirm the account number with me.
Okay. The account number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3. Okay. And I'll just repeat that back to you. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So I'll just be just a couple minutes here. I'm just going to see if we can get you that approval for the family. Now, Johnny, keep in mind, if you are approved, those policy documents will be sent out to the home in about 5 to 7 business days. So what I'll have you do in the meantime, if you can go ahead and save my number. I know I mentioned in the beginning, I am your point of contact moving forward. Just go ahead and save my number if you can as well. I will go ahead and forward my contact card to John Jr. That way, if anything happens to yourself, he'll know who to call to take care of that for the family. Okay.
Understood.
Okay. I'll just be a couple minutes. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, Jonah.
Yes.
Jonah. Okay. Perfect. So we did get that approval for you and the family. So congratulations there. So again, what's going to happen in about that 5 to 7 business days? You're going to have that policy document sit out into in the mail. Now, keep in mind, it will take the carrier anywhere between 48 to 72 hours to process for that approval there. So when you see that charge for that, $65 draft there, that just means the coverage is in effect for you and the family. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So also, I just want to let you know I work Monday through Saturday, but I will still answer the phone on Sunday. I'm just usually with the kids doing a Sunday fun day there. But I will still answer the dang phone. So if you need anything, of course, please let me know. You do have my number saved already?
No, but I'll save it right now.
Okay. Yes, please do. And then what I'll do, I'll give you a call back in about 7 days just to make sure those policy documents were received. If you can, when you get your policy, I'll be giving you a call around then, but please make sure you just maybe even write my number on the policy packet, maybe put that somewhere secure. And then also, if you can, send John Jr. my number. I just want to make sure, if anything happens to yourself, I'll be there for the family. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Understood.
Yeah. Any more questions for me before I let you get out of here?
No, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I'm grateful for you letting me help you out with the family, John.
Well, thank you for your help. Now I can go to bed with a peace of mind knowing that my family is protected.
Yes, sir. Likewise. All right. Well, yeah, let me know if you need anything. And again, I'll be calling you about that 7-day mark.
Will do. I appreciate you, Malik.
Yes, sir. Talk soon.
Boom. Pretty straightforward.
I think Jonah just really bought a policy. like he was mesmerized. Dude,
I almost gave you my actual social.
Yeah, he had to stop.
I was trying to visualize the financial inventory in my head. It was a little tough for a second.
Yeah.
I'm like, I always like nitpick them out. I'm like, I could have painted the picture even more, even though it was just an equity protection, which I used to be kind of nervous about it. But I think I work with Jonah. I think you made it such a strong foundation of what equity protection is. I think you even shared this about, when you first started, not having the actual concept, but I mean, this stuff is powerful. Mm-hmm. Is really powerful, especially when you kind of know, find out their whys and you align a program to what's actually going to happen for them. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wouldn't trade this for anything. I'm grateful for this.
That was such a strong presentation with everything from your professionalism, mm-hmm. the way you controlled the conversation, mm-hmm. Right off the bat, the client was like, oh, what is this again? Mm-hmm. And you smoothly walked him through it, took mm-hmm. control.
Yep.
You got a lot of the information before you even went into the quote and application.
I try to every time.
Talk to us about that, because I think a mm-hmm. lot of a lot of agents mm-hmm. get really nervous when we start talking about driver's license number, social security. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of it right before you even went into the quote. Talk about your reasoning for doing that, and what do you think that does for you and any agent?
For any new agents out there, I never go into the presentation thinking I'm going to get objections, but if you do happen to get one, and usually it'll be like the social or maybe the driver's license not comfortable, I cut right to the chase. So I don't, I send my contact card and this and that. Hey, I just sent you a link to the Department of Insurance. Did you receive that? Okay, perfect. Go ahead and click on that link. I'm just going to have you validate me. So I'll go right to that immediately. And I'll pretty much skate through any objection there.
No change in mood, no change in tone, simply acknowledge and move on.
Yeah, and I love how you dipped into the personal, talking to people about the kids, about CMOS, and then pretty flawlessly got right back into the conversation. So talk about, because obviously you're a very personable person. You obviously really enjoy the connections you make with clients. But of course, we know that can sometimes, doing that too much can interfere with the sales process.
100%.
Where do you draw that line? And how do you make sure, hey, I'm making a meaningful connection, but I'm also keeping things professional?
It's such a thin line, and I've played around with this a lot. So I don't, you can't go in there and force a connection, because if you force a connection, boy, it's going to get awkward on the phone, because it's going to sound so forced. You're trying to win me over here, but but when you can connect with them on a level that you actually are gonna help them, and that's why I always touch on the fact of their prescriptions, or if they've had any sort of surgeries, I ask meaningful questions on how was the rehab, for that, And usually if it's something that I've dealt with, then maybe I'll say something on it. But if not, I'll kind of back off. But at least check in with them to see how the rehab was. That usually opens them up into like a whole nother. Now it's like you actually care about me almost.
Yeah. And you got them thinking seriously too.
Yeah, I got them thinking seriously. So that kind of opens up the door there. Also for the job, I don't push too hard unless I could make a connection. I just try to open up the door and see if I can. If I can, I won't force it. So for the occupation, like if they are working, I usually ask them like, what are you doing? Or if they're retired, what did you used to do for work? Because a lot of the retired people, they want to actually talk about, well, I did this and that, and that might open up a whole story, which I have no problem with. But controlling the flow of it, so even if you're having some side conversation, I still can drip in the actual business. So by the time you know it, one, I know everything about you. Two, I've already finished the financial inventory, and I'm probably already in the application. Then I usually, shoot the shit there. But don't force any connections if you are looking to build some sort of report in the presentation. But there's a couple questions that I use to kind of see if I can bait them on it.
Yeah. That was one of the smoothest, Jonah, that was one of the smoothest transitions into a sale. Like, he presented options to you. You even gave a little bit of pushback. You hit him with the, I got to think about it. And it was the smooth, that was butter smooth going into the close. And you're just like, yeah, of course. It didn't even feel like you were getting sold.
No, not at all.
Talk about that. Talk about that transition.
Because you first of all, you're showing you that you care. You're coming across as a professional, and you're just very assumptive, and you're assuming the sale.
Yep.
Which, why would you not? They filled it out. And they raised their hand and they said, please help me.
Yep.
And you're simply giving them a call, and you're helping them with coverage. That's how it should be.
Yep.
And you're very good at what you do. That was a very dialed presentation.
I appreciate it.
But wasn't anything crazy.
There was nothing crazy.
Wasn't anything nobody else could do.
No.
Because I feel like a lot of people see you and Malik helped 80 families, and what's his
I get a lot of that.
What's his secret?
Like, just
special sauce.
talk to more families.
It's CMOS.
Yeah, it might be the CMOS. No, for any agent out there that says the same thing Jonah said, just talk to more families. I mean, no one here is special. So however we can help the industry, I'm definitely always willing to help. So this was awesome.
Dude. That was the presentation. I just want to highlight this for anyone that's confused. That was the presentation that you've used to help. You said to write 300 and what was it? 20,000 around?
I think of somewhere around 320.
320 for the year. And so what's your average with 320. Gonna have to edit that out. Now I'm off. We'll edit this whole place out. No, I love that. I'm going to keep this one for me, for bloopers. What's your average from your presentation to your application? What's your average appointment length?
It should be around 30 minutes, but I like to talk a little bit in there. I like to hear them talk a little bit as I'm writing down the question. So I think my average presentation is about 45 minutes, somewhere between 45 minutes to an hour. Strong point, I have the time. Like, if we could talk for an hour, that's okay with me. I usually get them protected. The objection that Jonah threw to the I just want to quote, I honestly think I sell 85% of those, maybe even 90. People that say that they want to quote, I can flip it into, building the why of what they actually need for their family is so quick. So I love hearing that puts me on my A game when I get objections, or if I hear I just want to get a quote, okay, yeah, we can get a quote.
Dude, dude, I love that so much, because that is one of those ones for these leads in particular that throws people off.
Yep.
And I think it's the same thing for the mortgage mailers. Like when someone would be like, oh, I already have coverage. That would throw so many agents off. And I was like, oh, I love hearing I already have coverage.
Oh, and client gives me an objection. I love it. Yeah.
And
kicks it up a notch.
Yes.
Give me your rebuttal. Spit it right back. Spit it right back.
Yeah.
And I want to point out one more thing, though, that's important is you're very, very good at building rapport, but you also stick to the process.
Yep.
Where you'll build rapport with somebody, but you don't get deterred and you don't get sidetracked. And then, you just simply build a little rapport, but you stick to the process, and you're very methodical and you do the exact same thing every time.
Yeah.
Why is that important?
I think if you're doing different things, I mean, that's the hardest thing to give an agent a feedback on, is if they're doing a different process every single time. The process is the exact same. And I actually shared some sauce with you guys, because that script that I just went through is actually being copywritten for all the agents and whatnot. So please keep that one around. But
we won't share it with anybody.
Yeah. But no, the process, yeah, you want to keep the exact same every time. And I tell the agents that come in too, I'm like, it's tough for me to even give you feedback if you're going off the script, or you're going into this, you're going into that. It's like, how am I going to help?
Yeah. So when they're saying, I just want a quote, so we heard you respond to it there. So you love hearing it. First, give us the mentality, because this is a big one for agents. Why do you love hearing, I just want a quote?
Because especially when I hear from Strong Point, like usually it's not the case, but if I do get that kind of like raises the bar for me. Like, all right, I got you. But because I know that they need the help, they send in the request for help, and now they're just telling me that they want a quote. Well, they're saying that they want something affordable that's going to fit their budget. So I know I need to do a better job in the financial inventory. So I'll usually ask more questions about, one, we've already broke down life insurance. I usually might ask a couple more questions about like their expenses, or if there's any other sources of income. So I just know that I have to do a better job asking questions when they say that they want a quote, because they're interested. They just submitted the request, but it sounds like they want something affordable and comfortable.
Yeah. That's good that you're I think some people hear that and they hear a brick wall. They hear like, I'm going to give them a quote and the conversation is going to be over. You hear, or they're telling me what they're looking for. Like they're giving me a buying sign. They're like, they want to buy, but they need it to be affordable. So you're picking up on that right away. And then are you always moving over that? You moved over that so smooth. Are you always moving over that objection the same way?
Same way. Yeah, the same way. And to be honest, I really don't get objections. Like I don't even put that in my mind. Like the only thing that would come up maybe one every 20 presentations is I'm not comfortable giving my driver's license. Take you straight to the Department of Insurance, and like that's that. Go ahead with the social.
That's strong. And for people who aren't using that, please start using. Just walk them through, looking you up in the system.
Yeah,
that's really strong. Malik, I don't want to go through this podcast and not touch on. We did it a little bit, but I want a little more detail. Not only are you having phenomenal success yourself, you're bringing in agents who are having phenomenal success.
That's the most hard one.
You have about 30 right now, you said, a little over 30. And, I think you said 12 just in that office there?
In office, yeah.
And so you have them come in, you have them right away once they get that license, they start training. What is the path to success for these agents in your mind? What are the things they got to be doing when they're coming in? They need this attitude. They need this. Maybe it's an amount for leads. I want you to give us the whole thing. Like, this is what agents need to have to be successful.
Well, one, I want to see how quickly can I get the agent to 5,000 in lead spend. It's 5,000 in lead spend. You should be top producing 5,000. Say they rate.
This is a month. Okay.
5,000 a month. So say if they come in, with $1,000, or even if they come in with $500. I try to track in my mind, okay, well, let's break down your schedule. What time do you have to dedicate this to your business? I usually will have this before they even get in, but what time do you have to, so I have it on the whiteboard in the office, what time you need to be in the office by, what time you should be leaving by. Also, we have accountability calls with Claudia, so she's been helping our team make sure we hit those 300 dials. So they should have everything that they need, but also to take a step further, when they are start making the sales and they are getting deposits, we have another conversation. Okay, where is this money going to go? Because I'll have the lead vendor right here on the phone almost, like we're going to put this back into leads, because the top producer or director's club, whatever you want to call it, it's the same exact thing. And after you get your skill level to a certain point, well, we need to talk to more families. All right, so we want to break this cycle of buying leads, charge back, buying leads, charge back. Well, the only way to do that is to keep investing into your business to where now, a chargeback's not going to hurt when you're writing, 50, 60,000.
Yeah. That's so you're really getting them to think like business owners right off the bat.
Yeah.
I think that's really strong. You're getting them right in, like, hey, this is your schedule. You're making sure they set up a schedule.
Yep.
This is your budget for leads. You're making sure they're doing that.
Yep.
This is your game plan. You said you start game planning for them and talking that over.
Yep.
Like, hey, this is where you need to get in lead spend. When you get this money in, it has to go back into your business.
100%.
That's, I mean, no wonder you have a group of these guys, doing so well.
Yep.
I mean, that's strong. What are you doing a month right now, you and the team in business? Do you know?
Like this current month?
What's your biggest month been so far, you and the team?
My biggest month with the team was actually in January. I think we did 115 or 120, but I wrote most of it, so I don't know if that counts. Yeah, I don't know if that counts, but yeah, it was like 115, 120.
Okay. What's your goal? What do you want the team to be doing by the end of the year?
I would say so. In the next 3 months, I want to have the team issue pay volume or team volume around 500,000. That's been my goal for like the last like month. I'm like, how can we get the team to 500,000 as quick as possible?
Yeah.
Because 100,000, I know that's usually the first goal. Well, in my mind, I think I could write 100,000. So I was already kind of skipping steps to see, okay, well, the next level will be 500,000. And then from there to $1 million. I mean, I've seen it happen from, not only, this foundation, but from a couple other teams as well. Within a year and a half to get these guys up to $1 million a month.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think that's crazy. I mean, Jonah, yourself, you focused on being a top producer for a while. And then when you turned the team button on, I mean, you went to $1 million a month in about a year.
It grew quick.
Talk about the things that you did to have that kind of growth in that time span, and the things that you see that Malik is doing, because he's doing a lot of things right off the bat. Like you're doing it right, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anything else. It takes dedication. It takes focus. It takes commitment.
Yep.
Where you're never gonna grow a big business by wishing.
Yep.
Like a lot of people are like, oh, like I hope to have a big business, or I want to have a big business, but you just need to implement, like, get obsessed. Same with writing on a high level, and getting to writing on a high level is what actions and what activities can I do on a daily basis to get me to that point.
Yeah.
And it just consists of, first of all, finding the right individuals, setting the right expectations, training individuals, and holding people accountable, and being there for them. And as long as you do those 4 things, you can grow. It's not just like writing business. It's not complex, but it takes dedication, time, commitment, and work.
Yep.
I know, just like a parent with kids, you don't have a favorite kid. I know you don't have a favorite agent. So, but tell me so far, what's your favorite agent success story?
Favorite agent success. I mean, I know we talked about Jewel already, so I'm gonna pick someone else. Yeah, actually, I have a good one. So Cedric Childress on the team. So I knew Cedric we used to play basketball like competitively back in the day, and at the time when he joined the team, he was actually in Louisiana.
Okay.
And I knew that he was an A player, but he was still like in a B game in terms of his schedule, in terms of his lead spin. So in my mind, I'm like, how can I get him to an A player? Well, long story short, he calls me 2 days later saying, "Yo, I'm not liking where I'm at," because I talked to him about it before, and he's like, I'm just gonna move to California. He comes to California in 2 days. He drives his whole family to California. Since he's been in California, I think he's issue paid maybe 14,000 in the last maybe 7 days.
Wow.
Maybe 8 days, something like that. So I think that was another big success story for me, because coming into the office is such a priority. I mean, I've seen it for myself. For me, I was working from home. Of course, I was doing well my first couple months, but I didn't have my biggest month until I got my own office. When I got my own office, it basically tripled my numbers. So that's why I'm like, well,
why do you think that is?
I think one, there's always distractions at the house. 2, I don't think your mentality when you're at the house is kind of like, you can work, and not to say you can't kill it from home, because I know a lot of people killing it from home. But if you look at the average, numbers from agents across the board, well, their numbers are usually double, sometimes even 3 times higher by coming into the office, having that camaraderie. Everyone's working. You're not doing this alone. A lot of people that come in that think that they can do this alone. They're not on the live dials, and then they wonder why, you know, they're struggling. They're not coming into the office. It's like, you know, you're a lone wolf here, man. You have a bunch of people around you doing the same thing. Like let's share this together.
Yeah. That's powerful, dude. And Jonah, like, doesn't Malik speak in like poetry? Did you hear him say, I knew he was an A player, but he was still playing a B game? I'm like trying to write down notes.
For real.
Dude, this has been phenomenal. Like,
Yes.
honestly, I think people are going to watch this. I think they're going to laugh. They're going to enjoy it. They're going to learn. They're going to be inspired. Last thing I'd love you to leave us with, Malik. You have a phenomenal outlook on life and on business, and you've had a lot of success in the less than a year than you've been here, both as a personal producer and as a team builder. And I'm just like, I told you, you're getting ready to move to the Chicagoland area, and I told you, I was like, dude, we're going to be best friends.
I already know.
It's gonna be a game changer.
I already know. Thank you, God.
And if you could give new agents out there on their journey one piece of advice that you feel like would really help them, like what would it be?
For a new agent?
For a new agent, or honestly anybody, just someone
Across the
in
board.
this industry who's in here, whether or not they're looking at this industry, just getting in, or maybe they've been in a couple months. Because, you know, people have different journeys.
Yep.
You know, I mean,
Yep.
you help that client your second day. I mean, I really struggled my first week after 10 years of experience. And a lot of people quit in that first week. You know, I love Jonah's story, 3 weeks.
Yep.
You know, some people are in after, and he didn't have the sales experience that I did, and then just crushed it.
Yep.
And then other people, you know, it's taken them months. So everyone has a different journey. And I think the reason some people struggle, and I'll put this on me, is I did not always have the great mindset that you have. And so what would you give to those people? What would you tell them?
I would tell them, I mean, I actually talked about this in the training the other day. Make sure your energy is correct before you get on the phone. And I think that because we could talk about scripts and, you know, what to say in this, but if your energy is not right in the first place, well, how are you going to go out and help that family?
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's why for any of the agents coming in, it's like, do whatever it is to raise your vibration before you even get into the office, whether it's meditating, going to the beach, yoga, working out, reading the Bible, whatever it is for you, do that, and then come into the office fresh, and then you're going to be able to help a family no matter what it is. And then also, I got this from Jonah as well. Don't put your mindset on if you're going to sell today, because you're going to ride a heck of a roller coaster. If you're going to sell today, you might, you know, I'll share a quick story. One time I went, this was actually at the Dallas, we were at the Dallas lock-in, and I went 7 presentations, and I didn't help a single family. But I was upset, but at the same time, I was like, man, I can't be upset. I have to be grateful. So I remember getting on my knees and thinking of maybe 3 to 4 things that I was grateful for, meditated on it, and I think the next day I wrote 9,000.
Wow.
So like, never don't ride the ups and downs. Just stay right in the center and just focus on your productivity.
Yeah, and that's so huge because, I mean, I've done, you know, it took me a lesson learned, but I started doing that a few years ago, and it just changed the game for me because it's impossible to have a negative thought and a positive thought at the same time. Physically, you can't do it. So if you want to raise your vibrations, just be thankful.
Yep.
Be grateful.
Yep.
Because we have so much to be thankful for.
Yes.
Like even right now, like we're sitting in a beautiful office. We're here in an awesome city, Chicago. The weather's nice outside. It's just, we're here with great people. And no matter, regardless of your situation, I mean, if you're living in America, like just simply living in America, you could be homeless and broke, and you're still, you know, you're still ahead of 90% of the world, and you're more wealthier than 90% of the world. So a lot to be thankful for.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to title this one Malik Love, Raise Your Vibrations.
Raise your vibrations. I like
that.
Dude, thank you so much for coming in today. I appreciate you and what you've contributed to Pinnacle. Like, honestly, like it's been phenomenal. I love having you a part of the team, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you.
God bless you guys. I hope this is a blessing to you. Go out there and have a great rest of your week.